Hello everyone. I think for me, working in programs, it affords me the opportunity to take a lot of impactful decisions. You are able to see the interconnectedness between various things. So program work has, from the design, you're designing the project, you're now implementing it, seeing what you put on paper come to actual life, when you're implementing the project. For me, it's one of the things I like about programs, and actually having the opportunity to meet your beneficiaries. So you're not just designing and then leaving it there. You also get to implement and see that what you conceptualize has come to life. So it's fulfilling for me, being able to touch lives. No, not at all. No, this is not the profession I dreamed of. I mean, growing up as a kid, then my father was a banker, so I kind of wanted to be an accountant. And then in junior secondary, my mom was a civil servant, and she was more of like a secretary. And then as someone that was reading novels then, I enjoyed reading about the secretaries and executive assistants to CEOs. So I later had a dream of probably being a secretary or an executive assistant. And then in senior secondary, I was more fascinated with tech or more with computer systems. So I thought of being a computer engineer or a computer scientist. I think I've gone through different phases of, should I say, career thoughts. There was a time I was interested in building. I was always asking questions whenever I see people building. So I applied for, I think, computer and electrical engineering in my JAMB. Unfortunately, I wrote the post-UME and they told me I don't have a result because it was online. It literally put me off because I was confident I did well. At least tell me I failed, but telling me no result. So I didn't bother to apply again. And so as not to be caught up in, the recurring JAMB issue. The next time I applied, I just went for mathematics, thinking I would probably change since it's a bit related. But by the time I graduated, I somehow just felt it was too late to begin to pick up my computer science. I no longer had interest based on what we were taught in school. And that's how all of my, should I say, desired or the different roles or professions I've liked, that's how they kind of died. But I would say that secretarial work or being an executive assistant is an administrative role, and program management has an aspect of administration, so I'm not necessarily far from it. I think I would consider myself both, because I think and then I do. I think and then I do. I can't just do without thinking, so it's both. 12-year-old self. 12 years, where was I? Okay, well, to a certain extent, yes, because that was when I was 12 years old, that was the phase of the executive assistant, secretary. I kind of had an obsession with the corporate world. Yes, so I think, not fully, but to a certain extent, I believe so. Yeah, this question is quite tricky because I see people when they ask them this question, they said no, they won't take it. But for me, I'll take it. I think I don't mind a do-over. I mean, if I'm making a do-over, I already have the knowledge and information with me. So I believe I can make more informed decisions. And I know what pitfalls to avoid. I wouldn't reject a do-over. The least likely 3 words someone would use to describe me. Well, I would say dishonest. I would also say, there's a word I'm looking for. pushover. I'm not a pushover. Yeah, dishonest pushover, and probably outgoing. Yeah, so I would say dishonest, pushover, and outgoing. I think it's the big picture. What motivates me the most is the big picture. In the Bible, Paul said, I press forward, pressing to those things that are ahead. So for me, what motivates me is when I see what is ahead. So it's not always about the now. What do people in AREAi misunderstand about me? I would say intentions, because most times intentions might not always be communicated. One might not be able to read one's intention. So for me, I feel it's more of an intention. So if you already have a certain bias and the bias kind of clouds, or you just assume that this intention is in this way, meanwhile, that's not it. So for me, I would say it's intention. Which co-worker makes me laugh the most? I'm still trying to, so it would have to be between London and Charles. I cannot exactly say which of them, so it was between both of them. I'm quite meticulous in my work, like, but maybe nothing comes to mind right now. Silliest work mistake. But I can just say that this one just happened like last week. I sent an email and I said, please find the link below. And I sent the email without the link, you know. And in fact, and because I still went over the email. After I wrote it, I sent it, I went back to check my sent box. I'm like, okay, let's be sure what you sent. And that's when I realized, oh, I did not. So I just repeated. So, well, if that will count. Oh, well, I think there are two. The hybrid work arrangement and the dress code, kind of. It kind of reduces the hassle of thinking of what to wear. So I just know on Mondays it's corporate, Tuesdays. I mean, when we're working 5 days a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, I just need to wear an AREAi t-shirt. So I'm not thinking it's just, okay, pick any of the t-shirts. Yeah, so and then Wednesday is casual corporate. So for me, that's cool. Okay, I'll start from home. Professionally, one of the advice I've always received, especially from my father, is it's not about the money. You know, your work, it's not about the money. While passion should be rewarded monetarily, money sometimes trumps exposure. It trumps experience. There are some things that you would get in the workplace that might not be quantified with money. And you know, so for me, that's something that I always put at the back of my mind, that it's not always about the money. Don't make decisions based on only financial value. And then for AREAi, best advice, well, I wouldn't term it as an advice. I would say what I've learned working in AREAi is that have focus, right? It might not always seem like it, but just keep being at it. I'm saying this in that it might be a mantra. Everyone knows you need to have focus, but this is, I've observed seeing it come to play. You know what you want. It might not look like you are getting it, but keep hitting at it, right? One day it would come calling. So for me, that's a big thing I've seen from AREAi. I don't just want to say, I've heard it, but now I'm seeing it come to play. In the coming year, this is a personal goal. I'm trying to see how I can get my master's done. Yes, so with or without AREAi, that's, I think, top of my list. Well, as I'm just thinking, I don't know if it exists. Probably the day might exist, but I think more of a holiday to celebrate mothers. You know, not Women's Day now, but should I say nursing mothers? Because I think it's a daily responsibility. Some people might not talk about it, but sometimes it can take a toll on you. So for me, I just feel, let people really see or acknowledge the role these people play. I told myself that if by any chance I'm not asked this question, I'm going to ask you to ask me. Yeah. I don't have an age for retirement. Paul Enecha says you don't have eternity to fulfill destiny. Already time is limited. You don't even have enough time. Why should I be thinking of retiring? In actual fact, do people actually retire? Or they probably just live a certain phase of their life and go to another phase of their life. So I don't think I would retire. I don't have enough time, talk less of looking for a particular time to rest. No, there's no retirement. Thank you.